Hello and welcome my fellow Weeb. We Weeb online. And today I'm gonna continue the story Naruto the Iron Man of Konoha part 3. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And to watch more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And turn the bell notification on if you never wanna miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
When Naruto awoke, he reached up and rubbed his face, thinking what the hell hit me. I feel like Choji sat on me. Again, he blinked and looked at his hand in front of his face, turning it right, then left, before moving it back and forth. Eva ... What happened while I was out? Everything is really fuzzy. How did my hand get fixed? He thought as he touched each of his other fingers. Eva's voice came into his head and said, "I'm sorry." She then showed him a video playback of everything from when he passed out to when he woke up after Tsunade gave him her necklace. Naruto reflected after the battle. "Eva, thank you for saving me. I also need to thank Shizune. How long was I out? Are you mad at me?" Eva inquired. "No, you did the right thing after I was an idiot." Naruto thought, "It has been 2 days since then. You have slept that time, and Shizune gave you some soup broth to help you regain your energy, as well as the medicine she thought you would need to prevent any infection. During that time, Jiraiya and Tsunade have gone off doing something that I am not aware of. I have been in standby mode, giving Shizune access to your body to ensure your health." Eva said cheerfully, "Well, I'm glad Tsunade decided to heal herself and become Hokage. But why has Shizune healed me and not Tsunade? Not that I mind or anything, but I thought Tsunade was the more experienced medic." Tsunade started to, but Shizune said she was going to be your official doctor from now on. Eva explained, "I don't know exactly what happened, but Shizune and Tsunade seem to have some sort of conflict between them. I believe. I could be wrong, but I am not sure." Naruto nods and slowly sits up, saying, "Let me take a shower and ... Shit, do I have any cloths?" As he looked around the room, wearing only his boxers. "I'm afraid all your supplies were destroyed in the explosion," Eva said. Naruto sighed and said, "Maybe they have a bathrobe I can use. I need a shower." As he slowly got out of bed and went toward the open door, he soon discovered it was the bathroom and he took a shower, washing his boxers and drying them with a blow dryer he found in the bathroom. He then discovered a pink bathrobe on the back of the door and sighed, thinking, might as well look the part. As he clasped his hands together, Eva asked, "What are you going to do?" As he was covered in smoke, Naruto exclaimed, "Sexy no jutsu." Eva screamed when the smoke cleared. "What did you just do? Her biology just completely changed." Scanning, Naruto quickly grabbed the bathrobe and slipped it on, covering his ears and breasts. As he walked out of the bathroom, Naruto thought, "That's just my sexy no jutsu." A henge. Calm down. Jiraiya turned to the sound of the door opening and said, "Well, hello miss, what are you doing?" As he was punched by Tsunade and pushed into a wall. And Shizune asked, "Who are you and have you seen a blonde hair boy around here?" "What's with you all? It's just a henge, damn it. I didn't want you all making fun of me because of the bathrobe, so I used my sexy no jutsu and Oro-sanin over there gets all perverted and Eva is screaming something about changing my entire biography or something." Tsunade blinked, clasped her hands, and said, "Kai." Naruto replied, "Sorry granny. When I made this jutsu, I made sure a simple release would not dispel it. By the way, I like your genjutsu now that it is not dispelled. It makes you look ... well. I guess you could say a BBB, a big bone blonde." Shizune approached Naruto and grabbed his arm, saying, "Come with me Naruto," as she dragged him into the bathroom before Tsunade could murder him. Shizune entered the bathroom and said, "All right Naruto. Can Eva come out for a moment?" "Yes," Eva said when she appeared. Shizune looked at Naruto, who had crossed his arms and pouted, and asked, "What exactly were you trying to say about this jutsu he's using?" "I don't know exactly what happened, but the moment he did the jutsu, his biology completely changed from male to female," Eva explained. Shizune began making hand signs, and her hand turned green as she moved them along Naruto's body, and Naruto said, "Stop that. It tickles," as he giggled slightly. "Naruto, can you release that jutsu and let me check you again to confirm something?" Shizune asked, as he was covered in smoke and revealed his regular body with the power cell in his chest. Naruto sighed and said, "Geese, you all act like you've never seen someone use a henge before. Do your scans show him back to normal?" Shizune inquired. "No, somehow by him doing that jutsu it changed his chakra network enough to allow some of the fox's chakra to enter his system again. Not more than 2% but enough that it will take me an hour to change it back to normal." Eva scanned. "What are you all acting strange about? I've been using that jutsu for 3 years now," Naruto said, scrunching his nose. "Naruto, What do you know about the difference between a male and a female? Shizune inquired. Well, I know what I saw in a magazine that had pictures of women in bathing suits what women look like, and I saw a gross picture in Gigi office of what the inside of the human body looks like once before he took it away, and I know what I look like, and there is supposed to be something different, but I never really thought about it. Shizune blinked and blinked again before getting up and leaving the room, saying, Naruto ... Stay right here a moment. I will be back. Naruto looked at Eva, who was sweating profusely, and asked, what? Eva closed her mouth, which she was about to open, and she burst into particles and faded away. Shizune exited the bathroom, shut the door, and walked over to where Tsunade was healing Jiraiya's jaw. Tsunade asked, so, did you figure out what kind of trick the kid is playing? Jiraiya told me he has a reputation for being a prankster. Shizune looked at her, blinked, and said, that's it. I wish it was a joke. Jiraiya-sama, how was his education at the academy? I know he was the last of his class, but other than that, I really don't know. I only met him right before we came to find you both. Shizune rubbed her temples and asked, what if I told you that what you just saw was an actual shapeshift? What would you both say? Jiraiya became solemn for a moment and inquired, do you think it has anything to do with the fox? I don't know. I do know Eva said that when he did the jutsu it altered his chakra network enough to allow a little bit of the fox's chakra to enter him again, and she was going to change it to normal now that he is a male, but that's just it. He actually doesn't understand the difference between males and females, so how can he change his biology enough to include a woman's entire reproductive tract? Tsunade frowned and asked, Shizune, are you sure he isn't lying to you about what he knows and Eva isn't assisting in a prank? No, Eva is just as shocked as I am. Do you both mind going somewhere for a couple of hours? If Naruto doesn't know the difference between males and females, he probably hasn't had the talk either, and I don't want him getting it from Jiraiya, and I don't want to embarrass him, Shizune said. Okay, you feed him and talk to him, and Jiraiya and I will go get him some new clothes. You already gave me a list of his measurements, so it won't take us long, Tsunade said. Give me about 0.3 hours so I can find the medical books and the scrolls I have to help me, Shizune said. Come on, pervert. Take me shopping, Tsunade says. Nodding, Jiraiya joked. Be careful breaking him and Shizune, before Tsunade hit him in the head and dragged him away by his ear. Shizune locked the door, sighed, walked to the bathroom door, opened it, and said, come on out, Naruto, eat. You and I have a lot to talk about. Shizune said, yeah, that's yours. We knew you'd wake up today sometime and be hungry, but we didn't know when, so we went to the restaurant across the street to eat earlier. Go ahead and begin to eat and I will talk, okay? Naruto came out still wearing his pink bathrobe. Where are Granny and Oro-sanin? Naruto inquired. Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama went to get you some new clothes because your old ones were destroyed in the explosion, Shizune explained, as he sat down and began to eat rice and sushi. Naruto said, good, I was worried I'd have to wear this all the way back to Konoha. Alright, Naruto, first and foremost, how are you feeling? Shizune asked. Alright, I guess. Thanks to you and Eva, thank you for saving my life. Naruto said, no, I should thank you for reminding me why I wanted to be a medic in the first place and for forcing me to face my past. Anyway, can you feel any problems with your arm or anything else you need to tell me? Shizune said, I decided that I am going to become your official doctor from now on because I figure with the way Jiraiya-sama talked about your armor, Eva, and that thing that you are trying to keep as secret as possible, but you're not going to. I know, Naruto sighed. Eva told me about how I can actually get sick now that Kyuubi chakra isn't going to be in me to cure it like before, among other things. Are you sure you want to be my medic? Yes, I believed Tsunade-sama wanted to as well. But ... well, let me put it another way. Tsunade is what people call technologically impaired. Most of the medical procedures she created and taught over the years were so she wouldn't have to mess with X-ray machines, lab equipment, heart monitors, and things like those that any doctor who does not know how to use chakra uses daily, Shizune says. I hope you won't hold that problem against Tsunade-sama. Naruto nods. I won't. But thank you for explaining it to me. Eva and I thought you both had a fight the last couple of days while I was out. Well, we had a few words, but it was over something we had already resolved. Now I understand enough about machines to be able to understand some of the things that pertain to you and Eva. But on the way to Konoha, I will want to talk with her so I can better treat you if and when you need it. All right, Shizune said, as he took a bite. Naruto said, okay. Shizune waited until he had finished his meal before asking, now Naruto, I have a question. What was your education like in Konoha, because I am sure they should still teach basic anatomy to academy students. Trust her, Naruto. If she is going to be your doctor, she needs to know. Besides, she is trying to be a friend to you, Eva said in his head. Naruto said basically it sucked. When I was in the academy, I was always picked on by the teachers and the other students. The teachers would ask me questions on things that we never even covered or stuff that I was sent out of the classroom for, and since I couldn't answer the question, I would get Fs and the kids would make fun of me for not knowing it. At first, none of the teachers liked me, but then Iruka-sensei changed a little, but ... It wasn't until I had gave up trying at the academy to be anything more than the class clown that he actually saw me as a person instead of Kyuubi. By that time, I didn't really trust him and started skipping classes to do pranks. I figure if I am going to be treated as shit and not learn anything, I could use my pranks to train myself. My stealth got good enough that I was able to paint the Hokage mountain in broad daylight without getting caught until the end when I screamed, drawing their attention. I wore an orange jumpsuit since that was all I could get, and I was able to lead 4 teams of NBU, 16 Jounins, and 30 Chunins on a chase through the village for 2 hours until Iruka-sensei came and found me. I didn't graduate the regular way either. I can't make bunshin. My chakra control sucks too bad to do them. I failed the exam 3 times because of that jutsu, and nobody would help me to figure out why. Then Mizuki, Iruka assistant, told me about a makeup test. I broke in and stole the forbidden scroll from the Hokage tower, knocked out Jiji with my sexy no jutsu, and then in less than 3 hours I learned the Kagebenshin no jutsu before Iruka found me, and Mizuki tried to kill us both, but not before telling me about the Kyuubi and the reason I was treated the way I was. I see, Shizune said, frowning. But that was the night Iruka-sensei recognized me as a person and not the Kyuubi after I defeated Mizuki. He gave me his own hiat that night and became something like a big brother or something. Though I don't get to see him very often now, Naruto explained. Shizune said, I think I understand now why you don't know anatomy. Finish eating while I get some things. As she began searching through her bag, frowning, oh great, I don't have those scrolls any longer. I forgot I sold them to pay off one of Tsunade's debt. Selma's. She returned to where Naruto was sitting a few minutes later and said, well, Naruto, I don't have the book that I was going to explain it to you, so I'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way. As she created 2 mud clones. When there were 3 Shizune left, the original Shizune took out an ink pen, and the mud clone changed their appearances so that one was a male and one was a female. And they both undressed, and Naruto turned his head as the clones undressed. Shizune said, relax, Naruto. I created the clones and had them change the body enough so it won't be my body. See, even though their face is similar to mine, it is different, so look as I explain the male and female anatomy to you so you can understand why your sexy no jutsu is so shocking. After an hour of questioning, Naruto nodded his head, and Shizune said, so you finally understand what is unique about your sexy no jutsu. Yeah, I see now. I had no idea I was changing that much. I won't use that jutsu again, even as a joke. No wonder the girls were always mad at me. They must have known it was real somehow. They probably didn't know it was real because they never actually checked, but the appearance was good enough to throw any woman's dignity out the window. Shizune explained, women have had to fight hard over the centuries to be recognized as more than sex objects. And that jutsu is basically reinforcing the belief that we are, unfortunately. There are a lot of people in the world who will always see us women as just that. Iro-sanin is one of them. Naruto explained. Shizune laughed and said, yes, he does show a little respect ... very little. Well, thanks for explaining that to me. Naruto said, that was the easy part. Now that you understand, I need to explain what is known as the talk. I am sure someday you will find some woman you love and don't want to ruin it with misunderstanding on what is appropriate and what is not. Right, Shizune said. Shizune begins to explain it to Naruto as he nods. Naruto was passed out on the floor by the end of the talk because Shizune had the 2 mud clones demonstrate certain parts. Shizune asked after Naruto awoke, so, any more questions? No ... Just promise me that you will never give me that talk again, please. Naruto said, I won't, and relax. Shizune said, but since you were such a good student, I'll tell you what, tell me what chakra control exercises you know and how frequently you perform them. And I'll help you with them. I know tree climbing and water walking. And I mastered both. Naruto scrunched his nose. Shizune blinked and inquired, how often do you do them? Shizune explained to Naruto, your sensei did tell you that you need to keep practicing those to get better, right? Naruto frowned and said, Kakashi sensei only showed my team the tree climbing exercise and he said too much chakra you blow off, too little and you fall off. Mark the tree with a kunai to show your progress before you fall off. Sakura got it on her first try and he sent her to guard the client at the bridge while he recovered, leaving Sasuke and me to do it. Shizune frowned and inquired, how about the water walking? Well, Eva taught that to me after Kakashi sensei told me I wasn't worth his time to train for the Chunin exams before he left me without even a helping hand. Naruto explained, and I learned it in a day from her before learning the hidden mist jutsu and how to use the suit during the 1-month break between the semifinals and finals of the Chunin exam. Shizune slapped her on the head and said, all right, Naruto. Here is the best advice anyone can ever give you to get good chakra control and to keep it. even if you master the exercises. Do them to keep getting better. You know the tree climbing, learn the leaf balancing, and combine them a few hours a week. You know the water walking, learn meditation, and combine them while walking on the water. Can you teach me how to meditate and balance a leaf? Naruto inquired. Shizune looked around before sitting in the lotus position and said, Yeah, to meditate. Sit down like I am and then focus on your breathing. Learn to stay calm and don't let anything bother you around you. Just concentrate on keeping your breathing at a set pace. Shizune remained silent for nearly 20 minutes before dismissing her clones. And Naruto slowly opened his eyes and smiled at her, saying, Thanks Shizune. I think I understand what you were saying. Once I was able to get my breathing under control, it felt like I could feel my heart trying to tear out my chest. And as I calmed it down, I felt, I don't know, my chakra doesn't normally feel that way to me. Shizune looked perplexed and inquired, like what? Have you ever seen a water hose that has been held with a kink in it and then suddenly let go? How the water just shoots out real hard for a second. Well, it feels like it was going out real hard constantly, Naruto said. Shizune and Naruto were both startled when a voice from across the room said, It's not surprising if you think about it, Naruto. Your body had to adapt to the Kyuubi chakra flowing into you so that you have more of your chakra than the Kyuubi harmful chakra in you at the same time. Then your body would have to get to make your own reserves fill up faster than Kyuubi chakra. As he stood up, Naruto inquired, When did you both return? As Shizune mud clones dissolve. But why did you need mud clones? Tsunade explained. To demonstrate something. Nothing important, Shizune explained. Then I have a question. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. If my chakra is coming out so fast from my heart, why am I hitting a wall that is going back toward my heart? Or so it felt. Naruto. I know Shizune said she's hermetic, and I suspect I know why, Tsunade said, glaring at Shizune, but let me check something, please. Shizune said to Naruto. Go ahead, Naruto, she has more experience than I do. Naruto approached, and Tsunade made a few hand gestures, and her hand glowed green as she moved it over Naruto's heart and then toward the device in his chest. And she narrowed her eyes and asked, Since you got this thing, how have your chakra reserves been? Actually smaller. I used to be able to make nearly 1,000 Kagebenshin, but now I can't even make 50. Why? Naruto frowned. Jiraiya's eyes widened for a moment before he approached and said, Take that robe off and let me check something. Jiraiya said, Well, the seal that is drawn here is adding chakra from his heart to the device. I can't see anything wrong. Naruto frowned but removed it, leaving him in his boxers. I do, though, and I can understand how Shizune missed it as well, Tsunade said as she took a step back. Shizune blinked, then inquired, What did I miss? Follow the actual chakra network from his heart and across his body. Not just the seal that traces the chakra path, Tsunade advised. Shizune's hand began to glow green after a few seconds, and she concentrated, her eyes widening and saying, No way. After a brief moment of fear, Naruto inquired, What? Naruto. How did you get this device? And who gave it to you? Tsunade asked. Someone who wanted. Naruto frowned. Tsunade inquired, I mean, was it a doctor? He said he was a metallurgist. Why? Said Naruto. Tsunade shook her head and said, Listen, Naruto. Whoever gave you this may have been a brilliant person in metalworking with other skills. He must also have had some basic understanding of the human body and seals. Otherwise, he would have realized that what he did was disconnect the main chakra network, and the only thing actually keeping you alive is this single seal line right here. Shizune said, I'm afraid she's right. Naruto, I can't believe I missed that. Naruto frowned. Naruto, have Eva come out for a moment? Jiraiya said as Naruto looked down. Eva appeared without being asked, and Jiraiya exclaimed, Did you know this? No, I can't scan his chakra network. All I can do is control the flow of chakra through the power cell and the seals that are connected to it, Eva explained. Wait, Jiraiya said, You can control the seals connected to the device. Yes. How do you think I am able to control the seal gates for Kyuubi chakra to ensure that Naruto chakra is always the dominant one? Eva said, The same technology that is used to repair the suit is added to any seal that is connected to the Naruto. I simply send commands to the nanites that embed themselves into the seals, and they relay any command I send down them instantly to make the appropriate one do what it is supposed to do, such as activating or deactivating a. Jiraiya looked at Naruto and then at Tsunade, saying, Oh, nothing, just curious how she did it. Tsunade said to Naruto, Listen, Naruto, we need to fix that chakra connection or it will cost you trouble down the road. Great, just when I wake up. Frowned Naruto. Don't worry, it won't be too difficult to fix. And I can have it done in less than 2 hours, with a small cut and then using chakra to mend it together before sealing it back, Tsunade said. And your fear of blood? Naruto asked, cutting his finger with a fingernail and holding it up to show him bleeding. Tsunade confidently walked over to the blood and said, I am over it. Well, I guess I'll show you some respect. Hokage-sama ... at least when I have to granny. Naruto said. Tsunade punched him in the head, causing him to fly backward into the wall and pass out. Tsunade chuckled, and Shizune said, you know that jutsu only calls for a light tap to the head, not a forced punch. After noticing Tsunade's discreet hand signs, Tsunade glared at Eva and said, I know. But he had that coming, and I doubt I'll get many more chances without her stopping my punches again. Now Eva, you and I are going to talk while they work on the Gaki. I don't like the idea of his life revolving around a metal device in his chest that if damaged means his death. I studied the seals on him every chance I got since I met him, and I see you care for him. You may be a hologram, but you do have some human emotions. Most likely from your creator, so you must understand that you are a risk to his life. I am aware of this. But I can't do much more than I already am to protect and assist him, Eva said. Jiraiya said as Shizune moved Naruto to the bed and Tsunade washed her hands. Then we are going to discuss a few new seals you will have under your control to help him. I am going to create several failsafe seal lines like around the device in his chest that will have safety cutoffs like the Kyuubi gates that if that device is damaged he can still access his regular chakra by having you quickly turn them on. Yes. I understand the concept because I had been thinking about something similar. But I lacked the necessary knowledge and ability to properly perform it myself. Jiraiya replied. Good. That shows your willingness to do whatever it takes to ensure my godson's life. Now, on top of that, I have a problem with his own speed and strength in enhancing them. I will place 5 seals on his back, arms, and legs that will act as artificial weights. They can only go up to 200 each for a total of 1,000 pounds and will increase by adding 10 pounds starting with the first 10 pounds. You will send a small burst of chakra. Is that all? Eva asked neutrally. No, there is one more thing. Jiraiya said. How much are you able to record around Naruto, because I noticed when you were able to show him a replay of the Rasengan first stage to help him. I constantly monitor the area for any threat to him and can replay whatever I monitor, including any battles we see, Eva said as a scene of Orochimaru and Jiraiya summoning appeared. I see. That was all I needed to know. Now go ahead and rest or whatever it is when you disappear, as I have work to do, Jiraiya said. As she faded away, Eva frowned and thought, jackass, Tsunade said as she grabbed her coat and walked out of the room with Jiraiya and Shizune. Everything seems to be better now and you should have more chakra than ever before. Since it is too late today to head back, we will leave at first light tomorrow. We are going out to eat, so grab your cloths there and try them on and meet us down in the lobby, Eva said after they left. I don't know if you want to know, but some other stuff was done while you were asleep, as she replayed her and Jiraiya's conversation. When it was finished, he said, I see, and wondered, can you still hear me? I want you to keep an eye on what everyone else does. I don't care who they are, right now. The only one I actually trust is you, because you have never betrayed me or given me a reason to doubt you. The Rosanin was never really there for me ever before I got you. As for Tsunade, she may be changing her spots, but seeing Kabuto like that showed me that even someone who appears to want to help can shed their skin like a snake ... Just what about Shizune? Eva inquired, with a frown on his face. Naruto thought, for now, her as well. Eva nods and fades away as Naruto changes into black pants and a blue shirt. And then the armor appears on him, cloaked except for his head, and he slips on his chunin vest. Tsunade said to him in the lobby. I see you're finally ready. Come on, Gaki. So, everything okay? Jiraiya said. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? Said Naruto. Oh, nothing. Just wanted to make sure you were okay considering all the medical needs you had. Jiraiya explained. I see. Well, thanks for looking out for my godfather, Naruto said with a smile, thinking, ironic it's only when the Hokage orders him to. Don't become cold, Naruto. He may have had a legitimate reason, Eva said in his head. I know, Naruto sighed. But I don't like how he treats me like an idiot and those I care about like crap. Don't worry about me, Naruto. I have no feelings. I am just a hologram and a machine. These are real people trying to care for you, Eva said in his head. Don't make excuses for them. I'll give them a chance, but I won't let them hurt me like Mizuki did, Naruto said as he followed the group into a small bar and restaurant. Eva was deafeningly quiet for the rest of the night. The next day, as the group was walking back to Konoha, Jiraiya tossed Naruto a scroll and said, Here you go, Naruto. Naruto opened the scroll and unsealed a rubber ball, frowning as he sent chakra to it, causing it to explode, and Jiraiya said, I see you got through that even faster than I. What are you both up to? Tsunade inquired. He's teaching me the Rasengan. That was the second stage. But what he's not telling you is that what I did was only half as strong as his because he uses 10 different rotations as the first part, and I already have that down. But the second stage is supposed to make all 10 equal in power as you power up the jutsu. But I only have 5, isn't that right? Naruto said, looking at Jiraiya. Eva helped you understand the jutsu better than I thought she could, but you also just revealed the secret behind it, Jiraiya frowned. Tell me what the last step is so that I can just go on to it after I finish getting all 10 up to the right level. Naruto shrugged. Jiraiya frowned when he noticed Shizune and Tsunade staring at him, and sighed before blowing up an air balloon and saying, "The last step is containment. You must put the first and second stage together without popping the balloon," while holding a finished Rasengan and the balloon in both his hands. Naruto frowned, looked at his hand, and asked, "Why?" All three of them looked at him. "What do you mean, Waigaki?" "That is just how the jutsu is done," Jiraiya inquired. "But then the problem with the Rasengan remains. Your target has to be standing still in order for you to hit them. Why can't you just do this instead?" Naruto said as he held up his hand, and everyone watched as energy began to gather in his hand, and instead of forming a ball like the Rasengan, it formed into a thinner, wider disc. And Naruto turned his arm and made a throwing motion, and the disc shot out of his hand and went toward a tree. And Jiraiya asked, "How did you do that?" As all three adults gaped. "Well, I was thinking back after I learned the secret to the first stage was multiple directions, where before I was only going one way and it made the balloon go flat," Naruto said, scratching his head. Jiraiya nods and inquires, "And, well, that got me thinking. What would happen if you added multiple currents all going in the same direction instead of different?" Naruto said, "That was only 5 currents, the amount actually needed to burst a water balloon and a rubber ball. I still want to try and get it to the same 10 rotations as the regular Rasengan. But at least it doesn't take as much chakra as the Rasengan and it can be thrown." Jiraiya put his hand to his chin and said, "I see where you're coming from, but do you realize you took the Rasengan principle and created a new jutsu? Really cool I guess I'll call it a Rasen Shuriken because that's what it looks like." "A Shuriken spiraling," Naruto said. "Kid, you just fulfilled one of your father's 2 dreams for this jutsu. One was to be able to throw it. I see now that the fact the energy is going in the same direction keeps it stable enough as long as the core is moving faster like gravity to hold it together in flight." "Well done," Jiraiya said. Naruto wrinkled his nose and inquired, "Well, if that was one of my father's dreams, what was the other?" "To add elemental manipulation to it," Jiraiya explained. "What is elemental manipulation?" Naruto inquired. "Do you know what your primary element is?" Jiraiya inquired. "No, should I?" said Naruto. Jiraiya asked, "What the hell did Kakashi teach you?" Naruto. Shizune stated, "All he taught Naruto was tree climbing, and even that was half-ass. When we get back to Konoha, I'll get the things I need to teach you elemental manipulation," Jiraiya growled. "That reminds me, we still need to go by and get me some senbons." "I only have 50 left," Naruto said. Jiraiya nods and says, "We will, kid, but I am more concerned with improving your overall skills, not just those gained from the suit. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to keep working on the Rasengan to try and completely learn it so I can make the Rasen Shuriken stronger. If possible, I'd like to make it as wide as a demon windmill Shuriken. That would be a major assassination jutsu, Naruto, if you could throw it fast enough." Jiraiya said, "Assassination jutsu ... You mean like the Chidori of Kakashi?" Naruto inquired. Tsunade inquired, "You do realize the Rasengan is an assassination jutsu, right?" "No, all I know about it is the steps so far and that my father created it," Naruto replied. Tsunade glared at Jiraiya and said, I know, I'll explain it to him." Naruto sighed as he pulled out another rubber ball, focused on his free hand, then on the ball, and it exploded once more. The mission to find Tsunade and return her to Konoha took a little more than 6 weeks in total. A week and a half longer than Naruto thought it should have, because instead of going straight to Konoha after convincing Tsunade to return, they stopped in 2 gambling towns and 2 towns known for hot springs. During this time, Naruto worked on the Rasengan and completed the final step alongside him, meditating for an hour every evening before going to sleep, as well as working on tree climbing or water walking with the help of 100 Kagebenshin, who also learned the leaf balancing, increasing his chakra control to high Chunin or low Jounin levels thanks to Eva and the suit filtering his chakra. He was still working on the Rasen Shuriken, trying to increase the number of rotations so he could increase its size, but he had only gotten it up to 6. When Naruto became frustrated in his head, Eva and Naruto talked, as Jiraiya had requested. Eva increased Naruto's weights and informed him that he was now up to 80 on each weight seal, adding 400 pounds to him. In the gambling towns, Naruto discovered that even without Eva's assistance, he had a high level of luck in some scratch-offs and a slot machine where he picked a coin up off the floor and played, winning him a total of $101,000, much to the surprise of the adults. The $1,000 came from the slot machine, and the $100,000 came from the scratch-off. Jiraiya tried to explain how Naruto would be tempted by the world's sins to spend the money, but Tsunade sent him flying only to try and convince Naruto to let her use it to gamble, even going so far as to order him to give it to her. Naruto looked at them both and told them that he was saving his money to change his life when he returned to Konoha. Shizune advised Naruto on the chakra control exercise as well as how to maintain it with the balance of doing the exercises on a regular basis. She also examined him several times and declared that he had fully recovered. Tsunade and Jiraiya discussed Konoha in general, as well as Akatsuki, the attack on the village, and the political situation when they left to better prepare her for the position of Goddamn Hokage. Finally, Naruto thought as he approached the Konoha gates, look on the bright side, it was a successful mission. Eva said in his head, true, I guess that's a plus. Naruto thought as he saw Kotsu and Izumo approaching the gates, and Kotsu said, finally Naruto, you're back. I was beginning to think you went missing on us. No, just had to go get the old hag here to come back to Konoha. Naruto said, motioning over his shoulder at Tsunade, who cracked her knuckles and asked, what did you say, brat? With a smirk on his face. Naruto said, chill, Granny. I don't want you having a heart attack in your old age. Izumo turned pale as he recognized Tsunade and thought to himself, he has a death wish. Just wait, Tsunade said. I'll bust your $sign back to Genin when I take over. Really? Then I guess that gives me a chance to finally kick Sasuke team ass. Naruto said, seems you are still as surprising as usual, Naruto. A voice said, causing Naruto to scowl and look at Kakashi, who was sitting on the wall. In a strict tone, Naruto said, Naruto Uzumaki returning from S-rank mission with Jiraiya-sama, Tsunade-sama, and her apprentice Shizune, requesting permission to enter. With a smirk, Kotsu said, granted and welcome back. Izumo and I are about to get off when Kakashi takes over in a few moments along with Shino. After you get out of the Hokage office, come look for us at Red's Bar on the east side of town. Can't miss it because it is the only building with a red roof. We will do that night of drinking. We promise to congratulate you on being Chunin. Your orders, Jiraiya-sensei. Naruto said. Jiraiya frowned and said, let's go, kid. It's been a long trip. Before walking into the village with Tsunade and Shizune following. Kakashi frowned as they walked away, and Naruto ignored him. He jumped down when Shino walked up moments later. And Kotsu said, come on Izumo, let's go get ready for tonight. It looked like he needs a night to relax. You both ready, right? Shino leaned against the wall as a few bugs flew out toward the surrounding area. And Kakashi said, yeah, as he pulled out his book and began to read. Naruto had a scowl on his face as they walked through the village. And Jiraiya said, you know, if you don't pick that lip up, you might step on it. In a neutral tone, Naruto said, I forgot while I was away that I have to grow up now. I am not some worthless area of space who is not worth people's time. I am a Chunin of Konoha and I need to act as such. Shizune and Tsunade exchanged glances. And Tsunade said, drop the act, Gaki. I am sorry Tsunade-sama for my earlier disrespect. Naruto said without looking back. Tsunade sighed as she followed the rest of the group up the steps to the Hokage tower. As they approached the floor where the Sandaime office was, Shikamaru exclaimed, so you're finally back, Naruto, huh? Drawing everyone's attention. Hey Shika. I see they promoted you as well, Naruto said with a small smile. Wait, you made Chunin. Where have you been at, Naruto? Ino blinked as he walked by. Naruto said, sorry Ino, classified. All I can say is it involved those I am in the company of. If you would excuse us. We need to see Hokage-sama. When Ino saw Naruto and the others enter the Hokage office, she turned to Shikamaru and said, you knew he was promoted, didn't you? Shikamaru began to walk away with his hands in his pockets, saying, troublesome blonde. The Hokage informed Shino and I both. But we were both ordered not to tell anyone until Naruto returned. Ino growled and looked at Choji, who was holding up his hands, and then at Asuma, who was smirking with a cigarette in his mouth. She huffed and stomped away, her arms crossed. After she left, Choji looked at Asuma and said, if she's upset about not knowing about Naruto's promotion, I wonder what she'd do if she found out about Shikamaru and the examiner lady. Asuma laughed and said then she'd blow a gasket. I wonder if those two idiots at the gate will try to capture Naruto like they did Shikamaru and Shino. Choji said with a shrug, I'm not sure. But if they do, who will it be? Shikamaru was captured by that ankle lady, who used snakes to capture him and then tied him to her bed. Yeah, Shikamaru is actually motivated now, trying to stay busy because Anko told him that if she found him not busy, she would have a repeat, Asuma said. However, what did Kurenai-sensei do to Shino? Choji inquired. Asuma laughed and said, oh. She was so ruthless with him. I'm not sure how she caught him and neutralized his hive, but she did, and then she sentenced him to death. She photographed him in his boxers and plastered them all over the village. Shino now has a fan base comparable to Sasuke's. Choji blinked and inquired, but why? Because of Shino family bloodline they have no body fat, and since they can't use other type of jutsu besides their clan jutsu, they have to focus on taijutsu, so they actually wear those coats to hide their bodies, not out of embarrassment but to keep from having fangirls. Kurenai said sweetly as Choji paled when he saw Kurenai standing there. Kurenai looked at Choji and Asuma with a sickly smile and asked, "So what were you wanting to know about my punishment for Shino?" Asuma lit his cigarette and said, "Naruto has returned, and he is also a chunin. We were wondering if those two would set him up like Shikamaru and Shino." Kurenai stated, "I wonder who they'll set him up with now. I've got to go. I just stopped by to let you know I wouldn't be able to make it tonight." Asuma stated, "Okay. I hope everything is fine." "Yeah, but Anko asked for my help with a problem. So I have to cancel getting drinks tonight," Kurenai explained. Asuma stated, "That's all right. If my guess about what's going on is correct, I might need to talk to Dad." "What's going on?" Kurenai inquired. Just then, the door to the Hokage office blew open, and Asuma and Kurenai took defensive positions in front of Choji. Naruto walked through what was left of the door, saying, "Told you, good as new," as he passed Choji, Asuma, and Kurenai, who were wide-eyed as they saw the door completely destroyed. "A few minutes ago. On Naruto, it's good to see you again. I can tell your mission was a success," the third said as Naruto, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shizune walked into the Hokage office. "Yeah, just had to wait for a Rosan in here to show up when I was in trouble from Kasama and Itachi. But other than that, finding her wasn't that difficult. I already told you, Gaki. I was waiting for the right moment to strike," Jiraiya said, as Jiraiya huffed. Naruto smirked and said, "Well, I'll want to hear all about it later, Jiraiya, and I'm sure you're wondering what I called you here for, Tsunade. Actually, the kid here already informed me of what I need to know. You want me to take over your job as Hokage. We ran into Orochimaru and one of his men. So I understand what is at stake," Tsunade said. The third asked Naruto, who was standing at attention, "And what of your injury, Naruto?" As he moved his left hand, Naruto said, "Had a few setbacks, but I am as good as new." "That is a bold claim considering how damaged it appeared to be before you left," the third said. "We were able to replace the missing bone with metal pieces that adapted to him perfectly," Shizune said. "Really? Are you sure these pieces will not cause future trouble?" said the third. "Is there anything else you need me for besides just asking about my health? It's been a long trip, and I have a couple of things I'd like to attend to before dark," Naruto inquired. "That is all," the third said. "But until I can see that you are as good as you claim, I am going to put you on the injured list." Naruto raised his left hand to gather chakra, and a Rasengan appeared, which he slammed into the doors, saying, "Told you, good as new." As he began to walk out, the third was wide-eyed as he looked around the room at the three adults, and he said, "I want a full explanation." "Well, the first thing you should know is that he has already invented his own assassination jutsu. He created a new version of the Rasengan that can be thrown like a shuriken, and he calls it a Rasen shuriken," Jiraiya explained. The third pulled out his pipe and said, "I see. That is surprising," as he lit it and took a puff before leading them to a side room and ordering a few ANBU to guard it. Naruto walked to the first floor of the Hokage tower, where he saw no one and henged into Eva. He entered an office and saw a woman behind the counter who said, "Yes. Can I help you?" Naruto said in Eva's voice, "Yes, I wanted to buy this house and property and was wondering if you could help me," as he handed over a business card with an address on the back. As she walked into the back, the woman looked at the address and said, "Let me check the records for a moment." "Well, I looked up that address and I am sorry to tell you that it is not actually a building that is for sale. At least not through the village. It is owned by the Wolf Claw Weapon Shop. If you want to buy that place, you would have to talk to them," she returned after a few minutes. "I see. Thanks," Naruto said as he turned and left, dropping the henge when the cost was clear. After about 20 minutes, Naruto was looking at the weapon shop and asked himself, "What do you think, Eva? Should I go in as myself or as you?" Eva paused for a moment before saying, "How about going as yourself first and getting the senbins, and then asking about the house if you don't get thrown out?" "Okay," Naruto thought as he crossed the street and entered the shop. Tenten was sitting behind the counter when the bell above the door rang, and she said, "Welcome to the Wolf Claw Weapon Shop. How can I assist you?" As she looked up and saw Naruto. "Hello, I remember you. You're that girl from the exam, right?" Naruto said. "Enter Naruto Uzumaki. The guy who beat my teammate and embarrassed that Suna bitch," Tenten added. "Yeah, that's me. Well, I was wondering if I could get some supplies," Naruto said. "Well, this is a weapon shop, so you came to the right place." Tenten snorts. "Yeah. I need 500 standard senbins," Naruto replied. Tenten approached a shelf, grabbed 10 boxes, and said, "Well, that's easy. What else do you need?" "Well, I was also wondering if I could talk to the owner of this place about something," Naruto said, looking around. "Well, I am his daughter, so I could probably help you," Tenten explained. Naruto frowned for a moment and said, "Well, I wanted to talk about the house and land at that address," as he handed Tenten the card with the address on it. Tenten frowned as she examined the address and asked, defensively, "What about it? Are you going to complain about how it looks?" "Actually, no. I was wondering if it was for sale. I'm interested in buying it," Naruto replied. Tenten blinked and inquired, "Why, may I inquire?" "Let's just say the day I first saw it, my life was changed. I currently live in a little apartment a few blocks from here and I want a place to call my own where I don't have to worry about my neighbors and can train without much worry. There aren't really anyone over near that house and I thought I might be able to get it and clean it up a little, making a nice little home for me," Naruto said, scratching his head. Tenten frowned and said, "I understand, but the house is not for sale. My mother is buried on that land." Naruto's eyes widened for a moment before he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." "Don't worry about it. I never met her because she died shortly after I was born," Tenten said. "My mother also died from complications because the doctors were busy healing the wounded from the Kyuubi attack," Naruto said, looking down. "I see. I guess you can understand," Tenten said. "Yeah. How much do I owe you for the senbons?" said Naruto. "Nothing," a male voice said, drawing both teens' attention to the stockroom door, and Tenten inquired, "What do you mean, Dad?" "Those cost a total of $110. Hello, Uzumaki-san. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dustin, and I see you've already met my daughter Tenten," the man said to Naruto. "Yes, sir. Do I know you?" "I mean, you look familiar, but I can't seem to place you," Naruto said. 4 years ago, you came in with the Sandaime to get some shurikens and kunais for the academy after someone broke in and stole yours," Dustin explained. "I remember, you took a picture of me and the Sandaime together. And I still have that picture in my apartment," Naruto said, blinking. "I'm glad you remember me. I had no idea you were interested in senbons. But I saw what you did in the exams, and that was impressive." "How did you throw those exploding senbons?" Dustin said. "I wish I could tell you, but I promised the person who showed me how I wouldn't tell anyone if I could keep it a secret. So I hope you understand," Naruto said, squeezing his left hand nervously. "Yeah. A ninja has to have some honor, right?" Dustin said. "So you said your mother died at birth. Do you mind if I ask who she was?" "I might have known her. Her name was Kushina Uzumaki. She came from the land of Whirlpool. That's really all I know about her," Naruto said. "Redhead, green eyes. Her personality was that of a tomboy, but her beauty was actually well known. She broke the hearts of many a man, if I remember correctly. I am afraid that I only knew her in passing once, though," Dustin said. "Thank you. At least I know what she looked like. I must be going," Naruto said as he set some cash on the counter and walked out, grabbing the boxes of senbons. Dustin frowned, and Tenten inquired, "What was that about, father? And why were you going to give those senbons to him for free?" A female voice caught both of their attention and said, "He feels he owes a debt that has been paid," causing both to turn and gasp. Dustin said softly, "Mikoshi. It can't be." Tenten looked at the person in front of them and asked, "Mom, I am but an echo of the woman you think I am. I just wanted to say the debt you feel you owe has been paid, Dustin. You have paid it back tenfolds, though you do not realize it. Please move on with your lives and thank you." "What are you talking about?" Tenten inquired. "You're Eva, aren't you?" Dustin asked, frowning. Tenten looked at Dustin. And Eva said, "Yes, I am here by my own choice, without the knowledge of the others. I don't have much longer. And I would like to thank you for giving me this life. This is a hologram of your mother. She was a brilliant woman. Before you were even around, your mother copied her mind into something that we both worked on in hopes of making the world a better place. I can't tell you anything else, but I hope that this gives you a little bit of what you lost, dear," Dustin said to Tenten, who was perplexed. "How are you here? Are you connected to Naruto since you heard what I said to him?" Tenten asked Eva. "I am something unusual. I did not come here to cause you any pain, and I was nearby when you and he were talking. And I heard what you both said." "How did you know it was me?" Dustin inquired. "Heat recognition," Eva explained. "Because each person's body heat is unique." Dustin asks, "Is that all you wanted to say and do?" "I am but an echo of the woman you knew. I can't and won't ever try to take her place because I am not her. But a part of me is. That part is what I wanted to give you by appearing here. I must go now." Tenten shed a tear as Eva broke up, and as she faded away, she said, "Goodbye." Dustin frowned as he walked over to the closed door and turned to Tenten, who was crying, and said, "Don't. I know there is something going on here you can't or won't tell me. But whatever it is, at least at least I got to hear my mother's voice and see what she looked like, and if what you said about that being memories, then I know she is proud of who I am. I can live with that." Dustin nods and says, "Good. I hate to tell you this, but you can't tell anyone about what you saw. If people find out about my connection to Eva and what she represents, people will come for me and will use you to get to me. Eva, what Eva represents is my sins. What your mother and I created was something we wanted to help save people ... but in the end it ended up destroying hundreds of lives in a country. Tenton wiped her tears away, thinking, what could you consider your sins, Dad ... what have you never told me about you and Mom ... and what exactly have you done? As she looked where her father had gone, Naruto returned to his apartment after leaving the weapon shop, surprised that no damage had been done while he was gone. When he opened the door, he blinked and saw an ANBU sitting at his table, as well as an ANBU wearing a hawk mask, and he asked, can I help you? ANBU appreciated what you did at the exams, Uzumaki-san, and we wanted to make sure that since you protected our home, we could repay the favor. Welcome back, Hawk said as the ANBU vanished in a swirl of leaves. No wonder my place wasn't destroyed. I am finally getting acknowledgement, Naruto thought, and Eva said in his head, you deserve it. Naruto smiled as he walked through his apartment, noting that it had been cleaned up a little but not too much, and that he had fresh groceries in the fridge and cabinet, thinking, must have made sure they had something to eat while they were here. After eating deli sliced ham on white bread with cheese, he went to take a shower and wash his clothes before quickly drying them and leaving his apartment. 20 minutes later, he was walking into Red's, and before he could even look around, Izumo appeared, grabbing his vest and dragging Naruto over to a table where Kotsu was. Naruto sat on a stool and looked around, and Kotsu said, welcome to Red's. This is a shinobi-only club, and you also have to be a chunin to get in here because they don't want genin getting drunk and causing trouble. Chunins do enough of it themselves, Izumo joked. So, why did you invite me here? I don't drink, Naruto inquired. As he poured Naruto a saucer of sake, Kotsu said, yet. You don't drink yet. By the end of the day, you'll be either under the table passed out or proving your fitness to wear that vest. Good thing you convinced me to unseal my head, Eva, Naruto thought. Eva remained silent as Naruto reached for the saucer, pouring the drink into his mouth as both Izumo and Kotsu screamed Kanpai. Naruto coughed again as his throat burned, and Izumo patted him on the back and said, there you go. We wanted to do this sooner. You already missed Shikamaru and Shino. Both of them proved themselves, as Izumo poured another saucer full for all three. Naruto said, really, I find that hard to believe. Kotsu raised his and said, Kanpai, as he downed his, followed by Izumo, who both looked at Naruto, who gulped and drank some more. Please keep in mind that for the next few scenes, Naruto, Izumo, and Kotsu will be stone-ass drunk. After about 3 hours, Kotsu was swaying in his seat, Izumo was giggling every few seconds, and Naruto was up on a karaoke stage singing a very drunk version of I'm Blue. When he was about halfway through the song, Kotsu and Izumo joined him on stage to sing it. After they finished throwing peanuts, glasses, and a shirt from a female chunin, they were led off the stage by the owner of the bar, who said, you guys have reached your limit. Time to go home. When they got to the street, Naruto looked perplexed and asked, what now? In a drunken voice. Now it is time to prove you are a man. My young friend ... come, Kotsu said as he led Naruto through town, after a few wrong turns and a few times throwing up. The three of them were on a roof when Izumo said, now for your final test, Naruto Uzumaki, to prove that you are both a chunin of Konoha and that you have the balls to stand up for the leaf. You must complete a mission. Are you ready? As he saluted, Naruto stated, Naruto Uzumaki read. Why to kick names and take ass, sir? Good. Your mission is item recovery from hostile territory ... You see that house? Inside it is your objective. In the master bedroom, in the top drawers, you will find the items that you are to retrieve. Your mission is to recover the items without being detected. Do so, and you are on your own. Naruto swayed slightly and said, of course I am. Naruto Uzumaki is always ready. Before falling backwards on his ass and laughing, I fall down. Izumo assisted him in getting back up and said, good luck, chunin, and make us proud, as he and Kotsu both saluted him before collapsing and passing out with smiles on their faces. Naruto looked at them and huffed before falling over the side of the building he was on and beginning to make his way across the street, knocking over a trash can and swaying and saying, now what? As he looked around and saw a window open on the second floor, forgetting that he could use chakra to climb to the window on the second floor, he began stacking trash cans and attempting to climb them, only to fall and laugh. Kurenai and Anko were both holding their own laughter across the roof where Kotsu and Izumo were being passed out. And Anko whispered, you think Yugao is going to give him what he deserves? Oh, I think she might go easy on him, Kurenai said as she calmed down. After all, he's making more noise than an army right now, but he's persistent. What should we do about the boys here? Anko inquired. Kurenai turned to them and said, I have the perfect solution. Kakashi is still on gate duty for a couple of hours. What about we drop both of them off in his apartment and destroy Kakashi's collection where he will blame them? As she picked up Kotsu and Kurenai, Anko smirked and said, "Yeah, then we can come help Yu-chan clean up the mess with Wonder Boy." Naruto finally entered the room through the open window after about 15 minutes, only to find himself in a bathtub of cold water. After that, Naruto tried to sneak through the house and found the master bedroom. When he got to the dresser, he pulled out the top drawer and blinked, thinking, what kind of item are these? As he pulled out a 3 feet long wooden stick, before he could react, the room was suddenly flooded with light. And he covered his eyes as a female voice said, "What do we have here? An armed intruder. I believe I should teach you a lesson about breaking into a woman's home." Naruto blinked several times and said, You say something," before bursting out laughing. Yugao blinked and grumbled, "Oh god, he didn't just pull a Kakashi, did he?" As she marched over to Naruto and said, "Let's get you out of here, bastard. I don't want blood odor in my bedroom," as he tried to pull away. Naruto said, still clutching the wooden stick, "You're just like that crazy bitch from the exams, wanting my blood in your bedroom." Yugao's eye twitched as she threw him into the laundry chute, and she heard Naruto exclaim "Oh" as he landed on the basement floor. When she arrived, she saw 4 Naruto fighting each other, with one screaming "You bastard," another "You want some bitch," and another saying "Hold still so I can beat you," while panting and leaning on the stick he was holding. Yugao smirked as she walked to the wall near the stairs, grabbed a stick similar to Naruto's, and said, "First and foremost, assholes, you don't use a bakken like that." As they attempted to attack her, each Naruto turned to face her and screamed, I am going to kick your ass." Yugao was actually laughing as she destroyed the 3 Kagebunshin. And she said to the last one, "What about you, Mr. Intruder? I'm going to make you wish you'd never been born," as she gradually began to attack him and he attempted to defend himself. Finally, Yugao struck Naruto's body, and she blinked, thinking, "What the hell, how can he take a hit like that and not be affected?" As she narrowed her eyes and began to attack his body with some actual skills. Naruto was starting to come around by this point, thanks to a small amount of Kyuubi chakra Eva had released into his system to fight the Sake, and he had begun to defend himself. Yugao finally smirked and said, "Not bad, kid. Let's see how long you can last," before launching an attrition war on him. 2 hours later, Naruto was panting, as was Yugao, but he was mostly sober and asked, "So how long are we going to keep this up? You seem to recover quickly from being drunk." Yugao observed, "Or was that all an act?" As he jumped back, Naruto blocked and said, "Getting the shit beat out of me by a pretty lady is not on my to-do list." Yugao said, "Flattery won't save you though. Do you know what you did when you broke into my house?" Naruto took a look around and said, "To be honest, I have no idea where I am or who you are, lady. The last thing I remember is Kotsu and Izumo holding a drinking contest to see who could drink the most in 20 minutes to help celebrate my chun. Though I do have a major headache ... So who are you?" As she went to hit him in the arm, Yugao said, "I'm Yugao Yuzuki, and this is my home." Naruto, who was gradually improving, blocked the strike and said, "So, if it's worth anything, I apologize. I'd never drank before, and I just wanted to pass this test to prove I had what it took to be a chunin, not some insignificant kid who isn't worth your time." While frowning, as she prepared to hit him in the head, Yugao asked, "Who told you that shit?" He rolled away. "Kakashi teamed the bastard. I asked him to train me and he said I wasn't worth his time ... Too busy being Sasuke bitch, I guess," Naruto said as he began to attack, and Yugao easily defended. "I can't see Kakashi-senpai doing that," Yugao said, recalling her one former ANBU captain. Naruto stated, "Then you've never met the real Kakashi ... The bastard. He stuck his fingers up my ass the first day we were a team." He was about to hit her in the side when he realized she was doubting the worth his time thing, not being a Sasuke bitch. Yugao ducked beneath the blow and exclaimed, "Really? 1,000 years of death, huh?" As she realized what he was talking about, more like the secret handshake of the pedophile weekly. Naruto snorts. Yugao actually laughed when he heard that, as he ducked under a head strike. Naruto said, "You have a nice laugh. You have a tough body to take those hits." Yugao said, "Not really, armor," Naruto said as he pressed his fist against his chest, and Yugao heard the sound of metal hitting metal. "But I can't see it," Yugao said, despite my suspicions. Naruto went to hit her in the head, and she went to block when he kicked her hand and slapped her bakken away. And she charged and locked arms above his head with hers. And he looked at her in the eyes and said, "I see you're hurting. I guess that is all any of us feel anymore, huh?" As he stopped trying to overpower her, and she tripped his feet out from under him and held the bakken at his neck. And as he sat up, Naruto swatted the stick away and said, "Your vision. They demonstrate your anguish. I've seen that look enough times to recognize it." As he drew his knees up to his sternum, Yugao was enraged and yelled, "Get out," as he swayed and passed out. Naruto said, "I would ... but I don't think I can." Yugao glared at him and huffed as she picked up her discarded weapon and Naruto's before putting them both away and sitting against a support beam to wait. After a few hours, Yugao heard someone groaning and opened her eyes, thanks to her ANBU training to sleep lightly, to see Naruto looking at his hand and saying, "What the hell happened, Eva, and where am I?" Yugao blinked at him. And he replied, "You're shitting me, right? Why the hell didn't you stop me when I was falling into those trash cans?" "I did. What do you mean?" "I see. So that was supposed to be a panty raid. Never heard of it." "I see. Got my ass kicked by a nice looking woman. Damn she good. Well, that was interesting. Wonder what her story. Hey, wait a minute. Go back and play that video. The way that picture looks, she must have been close to him. Hope she doesn't follow Tsunade and Shizune's lead and go all depressed and shit. Hate to see someone dishonor the memory of someone they lost by giving up or going all Avenger like Sasuke does. Maybe, but she'll most likely kick my ass again. Hey, I resent that. I've never been a coward. So if everything else fails, I've got one more person to despise me." As he rubbed his chin and began to sit up. A few moments ago, inside Naruto's head, Naruto's words, Eva's words. A video is currently playing in the Naruto HUD display. Naruto stated, "What happened, Eva? And where am I? You got drunk last night and embarrassed yourself." "You're absolutely correct." His HUD display showed scenes of him singing at the bar and then falling in the trash cans while trying to get in. "Why didn't you intervene when I was falling into those trash cans?" "Because you said I couldn't stop you unless you died." "I guess I did. In any case, you failed your true mission." "What exactly do you mean?" "This is referred to as a panty raid, in which you steal a woman's panties from her clothes without being caught." "I see. So that was supposed to be a panty raid, which I had never heard of." The scenes of him meeting Yugao and then fighting began to play. "I see. A nice looking woman kicked my ass." Scenes in which she became more serious appeared. "She's a badass." Him. Scenes in which they were locked arms and he gazed into her eyes. "That was intriguing. I'm curious about her story. She recently lost someone." The picture on the dresser revealed scenes of Yugao in hiatus arms. "Wait a second. Go back and watch that video again. The scene is repeated. I recognize the man in the photo. He was the proctor for the preliminary examinations. You appear to have liked him. I'm curious as to where he is." "He died." "What?" "His name was engraved on the memorial stone." "I guess I didn't notice his name when I was looking at Dad's name on the stone. And I'm curious about how he died. It was before the exams, so it was probably during the 1-month break." "Oh. That explains why she had that hurt look in her eyes. The way the picture appears, she must have been close to him. They appeared to be engaged because she was wearing an engagement ring in the photo. I hope she doesn't follow in the footsteps of Tsunade and Shizune and go all depressed and shit. I hate seeing people dishonor the memory of someone they lost by giving up or going all Avenger like Sasuke. You could try to assist her as you did Tsunade and Shizune. Maybe. But she'll probably kick my $$ again. You're afraid of getting your $$ kicked. Hey, I'm offended. I've never been afraid. Demonstrate it. If everything else fails, I've gained another person who despises me." Return to the standard view. As Naruto sat up, he looked around and noticed Yugao staring at him. So he said, hello. Have you had many conversations in your head?" Yugao inquired. "More than you would know about last night. I wanted to say sorry for everything. I didn't mean to bring up painful memories." Naruto explained. "I'm not sure what you're talking about." Yugao replied. Look. What is your name again?" said Naruto. "Yugao Yuzuki," Yugao said. "Look, Yu-chan. I see you and Hyatt were engaged. I honestly didn't know until just a moment ago that he had passed away. I actually thought he was cool the way he tricked everyone into underestimating him with that cough. But I saw when he slipped the powder on his lip to make it where he would cough. And how can you claim to know something now that you didn't know before because you didn't talk to anyone or go anywhere to learn the truth?" Yugao inquired. "Would you believe I have a woman in my head who helps me to be a better man?" said Naruto, frowning. "Not likely." Yugao snorts, "But it doesn't matter. Can you please leave?" "No," Naruto said. Yugao narrowed her eyes and asked, "And why the hell not?" before unleashing some kai, as he stood up and walked over to the wall where the Bakken were. Naruto said, "You and I got off on the wrong foot last night because I got drunk and listened to those two idiots Izumo and Kotsu. Remind me to kick both their asses later, Eva. Do you really expect to beat me? I am now the best swords master in Konoha with Hyatt death. You can't even hold a weapon right." Yugao said, as Yugao watched the armor appear on all of Naruto and then disappear. Naruto said, "Beat earn your respect." "Yes, Eva, armor and stealth shield deactivate. That's ... that's redemption." "I guess you could say," Naruto said. "That's how you beat the Hokage, isn't it?" Yugao said, her eyes narrowing. "Yeah, but power doesn't come cheap," Naruto said, frowning. And what price did you pay for this power? Yugao inquired as she began to pace around Naruto, having already noticed the blue glow through his shirt. I am a memory of pain for those who died because of Kyuubi and those who died in the name of making a difference, Naruto said, as he began to move slowly in a circle to keep facing Yugao. And that thing that's glowing in your chest? Yugao inquired. Naruto charged and took a slice. But Yugao blocked and counterattacked, and Naruto defended himself by saying, my life. Over the next 3 hours, both attacked and defended each other, and both were sweating profusely, though Naruto was in worse shape due to the sake burning out of his system. Finally, Naruto made a critical error, and Yugao slapped his wrist as she twisted by his extended arm, driving an elbow into his stomach and before sweeping his legs out from under him, causing him to fall. And she placed the bakken at his neck, saying, do you yield? Naruto scissored her feet, causing Yugao to lose her balance. And the bakken landed beside Naruto's neck, where he leaned up and caught Yugao bridal style and said, draw. You were right about one thing, Naruto. You did earn my respect if only for the fact you proved you could go on even when you should have lost. Yugao chuckled to herself. You told me your name, but I haven't properly introduced myself. Naruto Uzumaki, and this is Eva, Naruto said as Eva appeared beside Naruto, making Yujito wide-eyed. Before she faded away, Eva said, pleasure to meet you, Ms. Yuzuki. You were telling the truth, Yugao said, as he turned away. Naruto said, yeah. Why did you show her to me in your armor? Yugao inquired, as he raised his shirt to show the power cell. Naruto said, a sign of trust. My life is in your hands. You have information now that would cost me my life if it was learned. Destroy this and you destroy me. That still doesn't explain why you showed me, if that thing is truly a weakness. As you claim, why tell me? I could use it and kill you, Yugao said. But you won't. I may not know you very well, but I can tell you one thing for sure. You're the same as me. You're willing to do anything to protect what's precious to you. And you're an honorable person who could have killed me in my sleep or for breaking in or any number of other times when we spared, but you didn't. I respect that. And I know Hayat was precious to you, but do not let his memory cause you to live a life of. You're too naive to trust someone like you just did, Yugao said. That may be why I consider someone who was my enemy one of my first true friends. And I have vowed to live my life in honor of his memory, Naruto said sadly. Yugao slapped Naruto upside the head, and Naruto exclaimed, oh ... what was that for, kid? You are hopeless. One moment you are all wise, the next you are an idiot, and the next you are hopelessly wise. Yugao said, you forgot I am ravishingly handsome and have a magnetic personality, Naruto said. Yugao burst out laughing. And Naruto smiled and said, well, I guess I should probably go now. It's already 8 a.m. Damn, I can't believe it's been that long, Yugao said, looking at the clock. I bet those two idiots are still on the roof across the way waiting for me to return with your panties. Naruto groaned. Really? So you came to steal my panties, huh? Yugao asked, his eyes glinting. I guess. Naruto said, I was just told to take whatever was in the top drawer of your dresser from the Eva video. How would you like to play a prank on them? Yugao inquired. Yu-chan, I think I'm going to like spending time with you. Naruto smirked. To what extent? Yugao inquired. With a smirk, Naruto said, well, consider it an investment. You get the company of my charming self to use as a sparring dummy, and I get to learn to try a thing or two about swordsmanship. How long have you been planning that? Yugao inquired. With a smirk, Naruto said, since you kicked my ass. Sneaky little kid. Yugao inquired. Hey, I'm not a kid, Naruto said. Well, you're not a man yet, either. Anyway, about that prank, Yugao said. About 20 minutes later, the door to Yugao's house opened, and Naruto walked out without his shirt, but his armor was activated, so he still appeared to have a normal muscled chest and washboard stomach. And he was holding his shirt. Yugao entered the doorframe wearing a silk bathrobe that came to her knees and said loudly, that was an amazing Naruto-kun. How did you keep me going all night long? In a seductive voice, when you have someone as wild as Yugao. It's easy to find ways to achieve a desired effect, Naruto said, his voice sounding husky. Yugao leaned forward, her arms crossed over Naruto's shoulders, as if kissing him, and whispered, there are 2 chakra signatures still on the roof. Naruto wrapped his arms around her back and moved his head slightly, saying, so, should we continue the little act? Yugao drew back slowly and said, come back sometime so we can do it again. How about later today if we don't have missions? Naruto suggested. Give me a day or 2 to recover first, Yugao said, rubbing her leg. I'll be walking with a limp the rest of the day. I aim to please, Naruto said. And you did. Believe me, you did. I haven't had that much fun in a long time. And you helped me work out some frustration, Yugao said. Anything for you, Yu-chan. Naruto said as he leaned forward. Yugao smirked as she leaned forward and grabbed Naruto's head, kissing him and saying, "See you later, lover boy." As she walked back inside and shut the door, Naruto turned and began to walk away from his apartment with a huge shite-eating grin. When he arrived, he crawled into bed and passed out. Two women were gaping across the street from Yugao's house. "You don't think she actually?" Kurenai said. "I don't know, Nya," Anko admitted, but from what she was saying, she might have. But, Kurenai said, as she looked back at Naruto. Anko licked her lips and said, "He kept her going all night long. Not bad. Well, if she did, she can clean up the mess herself. I wasted a night with Asuma for this." Kurenai sighed. Don't feel too bad, Nya. You always have your boy toy on your team whenever you want him, Anko said. Kurenai gave Anko a glare before fleeing in a flurry of leaves. And Anko followed her with laughter. Not far away, three males were wide-eyed, one lowering his hiat and the other two holding their heads, and Kotsu said, "See Kakashi. I told you he was there. Damn it, he was only supposed to steal her pants." "Not getting them," Izumo said. "I can't believe Yugao would do that, but I guess she misses Hyatt more than anyone realized. Oh well, nothing else to see here," Kakashi said as he pulled out his book and walked away in a swirl of leaves. "I wonder how long it will take for word to spread about this," Izumo said to Kotsu. "Only as fast as we tell people," Kotsu said, his grin matched by the other, and they both giggled as they jumped away.
I will continue the story in next part, so turn on the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Till then, we Weeb offline.